My husband threw a wild party with my best friend and his girl best friend, so I bounced and hooked up with his boss. My brother had to have surgery, and I wanted to be there for him, so I ended up staying about 2 weeks. I always knew my BSF had a thing for my husband. She's admitted it multiple times, but I would just laugh it off because surely my married best friend won't fuck my husband, right? I didn't even catch them. My husband's girl best friend is just that insane that she casually admitted it to me as I was cleaning the kitchen when I got back. I thought she was kidding. No, she wasn't. I asked my BSF if this was true over a phone call, and she at first denied it, then broke down. Sobbing and fucking admitted to it. I was so angry, I threw all of my husband's shot into a big suitcase and tossed it on the front lawn. I locked the doors and piled a bunch of shot in front of it like the couch, an end table, etc. so the dumb fug couldn't get in. Of course, when he got home from work and couldn't get in, he started panicking. He banged on the door and shouted for me to let him in. I just stayed upstairs with our dog and let him tire himself out. Eventually he left, and from what I know, he stayed the night at his girl best friend's shitty apartment. They probably fugged too, all while he was crying over me. Dumbass. After a few weeks of him blowing up my phone and pleading with me, I finally let him come home and we talked. He was sobbing and apologizing to me. Said he was a sex addict and that he needed help. I told him I want him to go to therapy as well as us going to couples counseling. He agreed to it without any fight. He slept on the couch while I slept in our bedroom. My best friend hadn't even made any moves to contact me or apologize for being the homewrecker she is. My husband ended up having some sort of work dinner party a week or so later that he needed to attend and invited me. This was the first time he's ever invited me to anything like this. Pretty sure it's because none of his female coworkers don't know he's married, or I'm assuming that's the case because of how shocked they seemed to meet me. At the dinner, his boss was chatting with me, newly divorced, and I asked him how that was. Made sure to ask loud enough for husband to hear me. We ended up chatting all night, and my husband ended up scurrying off from the dinner table and told me he was gonna go home and told me to get an Uber home, clearly pissed off at me. Needless to say, his boss was shocked at how he treated me, and I couldn't help but play up the sad, lonely wife bit. It ultimately ended up in us going back to his house and hooking up. When I woke up that morning, I did end up Ubering home. Since then, his boss has sent flowers to our home, called me a few times, and my husband is completely aware of this, and now the regret is starting to sink in. The guilt and worry has started to eat away at me. The revenge felt nice, but now it's clear it's eating at the both of us. I'm gonna find a lawyer and start the process soon. I just needed to tell all this to someone that isn't my family because they don't even know the first detail about this. Edit. Forgot to add that when we had our first therapy appointment, he never showed. He was gonna head there after visiting his sister who lives just a few miles from us. I sat and waited in that office for over an hour before I just went home and saw his ass sitting on the couch texting on his phone. He knew we had that appointment that day because I texted him multiple times about it. He had no intention whatsoever to fix this, give me closure, or start fixing his sex addiction. Update. It's been a wild few weeks. We started the divorce process. SBTX moved out, reluctantly may I add. He moved in with his girl best friend, now fiance actually, and they're expecting. Girl best friend's parents found out what she did, and let's just say it's not going well. I told best friend's husband everything. He didn't believe me at first, but after I started showing him all the texts, photos, etc., he just broke down. He kicked her out, and she showed up with her ST, thinking I'd let her move in. Long story short, I had to call the cops to get her off of my property. I haven't kept in contact with the boss, honestly. He bought me a few gifts, but I politely told him no. He was pretty nice about being rejected and told me it was worth a shot LMAO. My family found out shortly after I made the post. My Reddit post was blasted all over TikTok, and my sister actually sent it to me, talking about how wild it was, and I had to come clean to her LOL. I have found out many things since the process began. My husband was the cigarette of the office, being passed around by all of his female coworkers. Do you know how many apologies I've received? I'll be set for a lifetime on apologies. But I mean, seriously, why does an office have that much sex? Once the divorce is finalized, I'm selling the house and moving into something smaller. I hate big houses. I found a cute apartment that's a 1 bed, 1 bath. It'd be perfect for me and my dog. I know the divorce is gonna become nasty, especially with girl best friend being his fiance now. We've already had to get a forensic accountant involved since he accused me of stealing his money and wiring most of it into my bank account. That was weird. Other than that, I'm doing good. I actually feel relieved and gonna start doing things that I love doing. I'm gonna get back into my book club. I'm gonna start exercising how I used to. I still exercise, but stopped doing it so much because he hated girls with abs. I'm gonna be me again.